Hey everyone, and welcome to my first ever little video podcast to go along with my favorite show on TV at the moment, ABC's Once Upon a Time. On this episode, I want to break down the latest one, which is the Queen of Hearts, and just kind of give my input about what I liked and what I didn't like about the episode. So this is really just going to be kind of very off the wall, just off the top of my head. I'll just come up with things. I haven't really, planned it out or anything, but so if it does seem a little off kilter, it's because it is. So I guess, though, I'll just start off at the most logical place, the beginning. And I guess first off, though, I just have to say what an amazing episode of Once Upon a Time this was. Like, I think really hands down, this or We Are Both were my favorite of season 2 so far. But I think this one probably would be my favorite, the Queen of Hearts episode that we just saw. So, okay, the first scene is the Emma and Hook scene, where, Hook comes in all badass, just stabbing his hook in people's necks and things of that, crazy nature. And we see, him kind of doing what we think Captain Hook will do, which is kill and just destroy things. But then we see his more, I guess, charming side come out with Belle. And, he's all like, hey, I'm here to help you. I'm here to rescue you. And, blah, 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 sweet talking and all that stuff. And, Belle's just like, hey, hold on, who are you? Type thing. Like, how do I know that I can trust you? Like, Regina sent you, didn't she? And, and then he asked her about Rumpelstiltskin and all of that. And, she's like, no, I can't, like, I don't know how to kill him, nor would I kill Rumpelstiltskin if I could. Because, she loves him. And then Hook, just kind of pulls a 180 and just, pow! Just knocks Belle to the ground, or to the bed, I guess. And then he's, he turns into all evil pirate, mode again, and it's like, too bad, you were so pretty, but so useless, and right whenever he's gonna, kill her with the hook, good old Regina walks in. And I have to say, this is going to be an Evil Regal little video podcast YouTube page I'm going to be doing, because I am a devout Evil Regal, and especially this season I've become an Evil Regal, because I think Regina is one of the most complex female characters on the air today, on the TV today. And so, yeah, it will be I'll be biased towards Regina, but we'll get to her, well, I guess right now we'll get to her. I have to say, I was a little taken aback by her accent, or the way she delivered her lines when she's talking to Hook at this point, when she's kind of saying, that she can't help you kill Rumple, but I can. Just the way, that was like that line especially, but I can. It's just kind of like I was sitting there going, yeah, what accent is she doing? It was different than the Evil Queen accent that her voice, because I know Lana has studied voice for years and really loves playing around with, changing up the voice. So I'd be interested to kind of, see, or hear what her idea was when she was talking to Hook. It almost seemed like she was trying to talk in a more piratey type, sound, like, but I can, type. I don't know. It was something weird about it to me, and so that kind of took me off, maybe a little off balance. But other than that, though, my gosh, that dress that Regina was wearing, all I can say is, she could work that dress. And I mean, that's one thing also. The costuming is just amazing on this show. And that's really one of the reasons that I started watching the show, was because especially the evil queen's, garb was always so out there and outlandish and just, draggy. And because I love drag queens and everything. So I think that she kind of reminds me of a realistic drag queen that's a little over the top still, with the makeup and everything they put on her too. But yeah, so Regina comes in and is, kind of quasi flirting with Hook. She takes his hook and pulls him close to her, just like how, it's like grabbing a tie or something to pull him to you. But then she's like, would you care to have a drink? And so that scene, I really thought it really showed a little more insight to Hook's character, more than Belle or Regina's, because up until this point, we've really kind of been like, is Hook, is he really that bad, or, is he going to show up to be even worse? Because in the promos, they even said, he's worse than Rumpelstiltskin, really, or he's more evil than Rumpelstiltskin is, and we had yet to really see that. But I mean, he was gonna kill, Princess Belle just because she didn't know how to kill someone or how to take Rumpel's power, and so that was pretty scary. I would have to say that but I could also see Rumpel doing that, though, as well, even though he has a little bit, maybe more of a code than Charming does, but he did turn that guy into a snail and squashed him just for accidentally running into his son. And so, so he killed for much less than Hook did. So I still have yet to see how he really is, or he's worse than Rumpelstiltskin, like the promo said. But then we move on, and we have a nice little scene between Regina and Hook, and what I can't remember now, was his name Claude or something, the dead guard that he didn't recognize without the hook in his throat, or my hook inserted into his neck, or whatever, he said. Like, I think it was Claude that he said, but yeah, I thought that was, kind of funny, just especially how Regina just kind of was like, unveiled him and was like, you remember Claude? And just like, he was just sitting there chilling out and everything, and that he wasn't dead. So I thought that was really fun. Or not fun, but funny, and that she, that just kind of, good old evil queen, that's just her. She seems to really enjoy death and everything, and causing people's death, or kind of poking fun at, other people's miseries and everything. So she's like, you remember Claude? Whenever, he's just laying there, as a corpse and everything. But, yeah. Maybe this won't be as off-kilter as I thought, because I'm kind of going basically through the episode right now. But yeah, and so then we find out that, hey, she wants to kill her mother. And where is her mother located? Ta-da! Wonderland. Like everyone pretty much had been speculating, especially since the We Are Both episode, where Regina and Rumpel I guess Rumpel was encouraging Regina, but Regina did it. She pushed Cora into the looking glass, which I think that was another clue that we could have taken from that, because what is it, Alice and the Looking Glass, I think is one of the titles for that story. And so we see, we then go to see Emma and Aurora, Mulan, and Snow, all trying. They're landed on in the not landed, but they had went into Rumpel's little jail cell and everything, and And we see Aurora, being controlled by Cora. We see her lock them in there, not by her own doing, but accidentally. And so, then Cora takes the compass and everything, and I love Cora. I have to say, Barbara Hershey does such a good job with making Cora likable, even though she's horrid as a character, as a person. If she was a real person, she would be like the biggest psychopath ever. But she just has this grand nature to her that maybe it's like Regina for me. Maybe that's why I'm an evil Regal. It's just because it's just so unabashed evilness that they don't even try, at least Cora doesn't even try to hide that she's evil, at least most of the time, unless she's manipulating someone. She just but once you find out that what her real motives are, she's like, bam, bitches, I'm evil. She gets into that "you stupid girl" type stuff. So I have to say I really like Cora, and I think it's also just because of the acting of Barbara Hershey that she really she breathes life to Cora. And so so we have that little exchange where we find out that Hook has the bean that the giant had around his neck. And so I thought that was interesting. I was like, what's the story there? But did he just ask for the bean, or did Hook have to actually fight the giant for the bean, and he outwitted the giant, who could have just stepped on him if he wanted? And so that I don't know, that's I guess another little story point that we have to look forward to. But okay, now I'm starting to get a little fuzzy in where the story went after the first couple of scenes, so I think I'll just talk a little bit now about what I liked and what I didn't like about it. What I liked, I really loved Regina. Surprise, surprise, in it. I really love what they're doing with that character, because they're not really rushing her redemption. And because she's been evil for, how many years now? At least, 30 years, maybe 40 or 35 years, because, for 28 years she was frozen in time, but she was still evil, but she just didn't have magic, so she couldn't kill people, really, except she did kill Graham, and I guess tried to kill Catherine, but obviously Rumple or Mr. Gold had ulterior motives there. But yeah, I really love, though, what they're doing and how slow they're taking her redemption. Because she hasn't just turned into, oh, Henry, I'm really good. Audience love me now. You can tell it's been really rough for her. It has not been easy for her to get to where she is now. And I thought that it was really touching to me how she, didn't want to lie to Henry. She didn't want to tell him something that would hurt him in the long run, because she knew that if she lied to him, he would never trust her again if he found out. But of course, Rumple was really kind of bullying Regina into thinking of it as a win-win situation, when it really was just a win-lose situation, because you would win if Cora didn't come back, but you would lose if Snow and Emma got killed in the process. And so I thought that it was really sweet how Regina really showed that she cares for Henry deeply in this episode, that she would eventually almost self-sacrifice herself for Henry's love and affection and acceptance, really. But yeah, I really loved how they are doing that, and I have to say, I don't know if other people are with me about this, but I wanted to bitch slap Henry at the very end of this episode. He couldn't have said, other mom, hey, you wanna come with us. You did just kind of save the day for all of us. I mean, you did do this and bring my mom and grandmother back safely at the risk of killing yourself by the whatever the electromagnetic force field, that that green, static electricity looking type stuff. That she, basically, she got into the sacrificial, like Christ pose on the cross and everything. And so it really was, I think, supposed to symbolize her sacrificing herself for Henry. And he couldn't even say, hey, you want to grab a burger at Granny's? I mean, the least I can do is give you a burger for putting your, damn life on the line for Snow and Emma, people who you hate or you've despised for years. And so that just really made me angry. But I can understand, though, that Regina did bring a lot of pain to Henry and Snow and Prince Charming and Emma, because if it wasn't for Regina enacting this curse, none of this would have happened. And Emma would have grown up a princess and would have, been with them forever for all those 28 years. So I can't understand why they might be a little bit slow to invite her into their lives in a friendship or a cordial type way at this point. But, I mean, damn it, give her a burger. Let her come to Granny's. You don't even have to let her sit next to you. Just put her in another booth back there, but at least invite her. I mean, damn. I don't know that. And then her face at the end when Henry says, see you later. Breaks your heart. I mean, it really does. And so, yeah, that was one thing I guess that was a quasi didn't like, but I really loved, though, Regina and everything. But of course it sets up Cora coming into Storybook, because now Regina is back to being broken again and lost from, not knowing really what to do now. Should she continue being good, or is she going to revert back to her old ways and say, hey, I'm losing Henry no matter what I do. He's never going to accept me. But, yeah, so I really loved Regina. I loved, seeing Cora as the Queen of Hearts, because I thought she looked fierce as the Queen of Hearts. I loved that red and white dress with the little heart crown she had on, and I loved her hair, how they fixed it. I just thought it was wonderful, wonderfully done. And, of course, it really wasn't a surprise, because everything alluded to Cora being the Queen of Hearts. Ever since, Hat Trick, when Regina's, Jefferson, the Mad Hatter, is telling her, saying, do you know what she is capable of? And, she was like, yes, I do, better than most, or something, so that was kind of a, that means that there's some relation there, or that at least there's some history between those two women. And so I just thought that was interesting, or nice, a nice little payoff to get to see that, yeah, we were right. Cora is the Queen of Hearts. And of course, Cora means heart. And I can't remember if it's in Italian or what it is in, but Cora means heart in some language that I've heard it. I've heard people talking about it, but I've forgotten now what it was. But I think it's Italian. But I just speak English, so I don't know anything about those other language. So excuse me for my ignorance about it. But yeah, so I like that, and I'm trying to think if there's any other big theme that I really liked. Oh yeah, what was up with Emma and the heart? Her, the heart not being able to be, ripped out. I mean, wow. That was kind of a surprise, and it was like, is her hand just going to be stuck in there forever now? Or, but thankfully she got, whooshed away by the strength of love. And so I just thought I'm interested to kind of hear like if she comes back and goes to Mary Margaret Snow and is like, hey, what was that? Why couldn't she take my heart? Or why, or what happened there? I thought that was interesting, and I think that is really. I mean, I'm sure there was many more little scenes that I loved, but those were the main things I really enjoyed about this episode. The things I didn't like about the episode, I didn't really like the climax of the episode, or the not climax, the cliffhanger of the episode. I didn't really feel that it was strong enough as a winter finale climax. I mean, yeah, Cora and Hook are going into the harbor at Storybrooke, but we kind of already knew, that they were going to make it there. I guess now, I mean, I'm very excited to see, what how things are going to change now that Cora and Hook, two more villains, how that's going to, what dynamic that's going to bring in. But I still thought, I was expecting a little bit more, like, Prince Charming not waking up when Snow kissed him, because in this world, magic is unpredictable. So, true love's kiss might not necessarily work on everything. And as I'm saying that, I'm remembering that Henry was awakened by Emma's true love kiss. So I guess that really wouldn't have made too much sense if they had all of a sudden changed that rule there. But, or something like that. Or like Regina being put into a coma from, sacrificing herself in that, green buzzing stuff that was supposed to kill anyone. Or, even kind of like saying, hey, is she gonna, like, kind of just showing her maybe laying there on the ground, and that be the end of the episode or something. So we have to wait, to see, is Regina dead, or is she just passed out, or she's in a coma. I just thought that maybe something like that would have had a little bit more of an impact, and would have maybe made more people come back, instead of just saying, oh, it's just going to be Cook and Cora, raising some hell in Storybrooke now. But they would be like, oh my gosh, is Regina one of the main characters? Is she dead now? But I mean, I still love the episode, obviously, and I still really love that they ended it like that. But I felt that it could have had maybe a little bit more of a punch, or a little more of a epic feel at the end, because I felt like a lot of things had been resolved, and then all of a sudden they just had this last moment of seeing Cora and Hook on the ship going into Storybrooke. There really wasn't anything that we know of at this point that's going to be a game changer, because it's just, I mean, they're two evil people coming in, but it's not just amazingly shocking that it happened either. So but I'm anxious to see kind of where the show goes now with that, like how much hell are they going to raise, because I know that it ain't going to be pretty for for Storybrooke at this point. But yeah, I that was one thing I didn't really, or I thought maybe could have been changed a little bit. I'm trying to think. I think that might actually be the only thing else that I didn't like, aside for the fact that Henry just still won't give Regina, really the time of day. So yeah, I think I'll go ahead and end this. Yeah, because I can't speak anymore. I've used up all my words. So I think I'll go ahead and end this video now, because I think I've run down pretty much everything I wanted to talk about. And I will try to, during the hiatus now, the winter break that we're on, I'm going to try to kind of do recaps of the earlier episodes from season 2 and what I thought. I'm going to re-watch them during the hiatus, and then I'm going to do a little podcast vlog about each of the episodes and what I think. So I would love to hear your comments on the episode. I'd love to hear what you think of my take on the episode. If you agreed with me or disagreed, whatever. And yeah, and I will definitely enjoy doing these, and hopefully y'all will enjoy listening to these. And yeah, I will be back very soon with Broken, the first episode of season 2. Alright, have a great holiday, and I'll talk to you soon.